everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Rafaela, and in today's journal entry we are going to be talking about moving on, and that is also our title. The title for this written journal entry is Moving On. Before I get into it, do you guys like my cup? It's with a little cat. I'm drinking Earl Grey even though it's like 1:30 in the morning. I wanted to talk about moving on nevertheless, and specifically what I wanted to say about moving on is that the version of you who is hurting can't come with you. They just can't. They simply can't, because that version of you has been living its life in survival mode. They've been shaped by survival. You want to go further on in your life and to live, and when I say live, truly live, they can't come. They need to be left behind. And I know that it's very harsh and it's very mean, and it may feel like you're abandoning yourself. I completely understand that. But at the end of the day, you're gonna have to cut off a few parts of yourself in order to grow, in order to move on. There was this interview, I think it was an interview with Tom Hardy, and he got a phone call while he was going through a tough time. And the person on the phone call said to him, "Do you remember the floods?" And he was like, "Yeah, like what about them? Do you remember that there was a kid that got his legs stuck and the water kept rising and rising and he ended up actually drowning?" And he was like, "Yeah, like what about it?" The guy on the phone goes, "That would have never have happened to me because I would have told him to cut it off." And I feel like that's so powerful. I like that. That's beautiful. Sorry for the kid. My condolences. But that's powerful. I feel like I'm like an alpha male giving alpha male advice. I'm not trying to do that. My thing is that the reason why that is powerful is because it makes me think like this. Do I live in pain with the pain from the past and I carry it into my future and everywhere I go throughout my life? Or do I choose to live with the pain of cutting those things off and having the opportunity to step into something new where that pain doesn't dictate my future and the way I move on throughout my life? Which pain do you want? Do you know what I mean? I'll try and put a link in the description if I can find it. I'm pretty sure I can. It might maybe on TikTok or something. But I have notes. Hold on. I haven't scripted anything because I decided in my last video that I'm stepping out my comfort zone and that I'm not writing and drafting and all that, and that I'm just gonna be here to talk like a neighbor, and a neighbor doesn't read off a set of like scripts when they talk to someone. But my video still needs a little bit of structure. So moving on starts with moving on quite literally starts with honesty. Raw, real honesty. You don't have to pretend like this thing didn't hurt you. You don't have to pretend like it doesn't hurt or that it doesn't matter, or to hide it or to suppress it. Because when you give yourself permission to say that this thing hurt me, that is when you stop fighting the truth, and when you actually start to take a step towards a resolution to change, to take that first step into moving on, to not hold things, to not hold on to things and create an identity based around them. That's a very important point as well. I feel like for me, I used to have these periods where if I was really hurt, I would go into my mind a lot, and what I would do is I would set myself up if something hurt me or triggered me like really, really badly, I would go inside my little bubble. That's what I would call it. And in that bubble, what was I doing? I needed a packet of cigarettes, I needed wine or beer or whatever I was drinking on that day, and I needed music. And I would go and I'll spend like hours and hours and hours in that bubble, and then come out of it. Not with a resolution, not with a change, not with nothing. And then, of course, because I didn't put any action to actually resolve or heal myself or help myself, I was actually doing more destructive things. So not only was I in pain because something happened to cause me pain, but then I was also punishing myself and engaging in self-destructive behaviors that was also causing even more pain. So I was living in pain constantly. And then the next day it would be the same, because this wasn't just like a one day thing and then, oh, okay, I'm fine. No, it was like 2, 3, 4 days. And then we get out of it because we're like, oh no, can't be sad, got like responsibilities, I got things I need to do. Gotta put that on pause. Gotta put that to the side, because bills, work, responsibilities as you have as a human being in your life. I got other things to do. This one is just emotions. Just put it to the side and it gets suppressed. It doesn't go away, it just gets suppressed. And then I realized that every time something triggered me or hurt me, I wouldn't sit with myself to resolve it, but I would think, oh, I can't wait until the end of the day because I just need to be in that bubble again. I'm just going to go home and be in that bubble because that's the way that I could deal with it. But I wasn't actually dealing with anything. Or maybe I was dealing with things, but I wasn't resolving them. I wasn't healing. I wasn't fixing anything. I was just sitting in my sad little bubble. Even though, yes, it was a coping mechanism. Was it a healthy one? Absolutely not. But was it working at the time? Very much so. But you see, there's like the contrast. It worked, but it's not healthy. But it's the only thing you had. But could have sat with yourself. It took nothing. It didn't come to your head to sit with yourself and maybe journal about it and maybe talk to someone about it. Maybe talk to the person that hurt you. And I think that I'm not saying that I don't do those things anymore, because lately I have no reason to, but I know that things could happen that would make me go back to that bubble. But I'm also more prone to now taking a little bit more action. I have been journaling more. I post these videos. This is a form of me journaling, but apart from doing journals to also spread some knowledge or connect with people, I do have my own personal journals, which no one is allowed to get into because that's my own personal business. Got nothing to do with anyone, that's for me. And in those, I've come to take action of now I do speak up. Not too much, but I do take steps to speak up and get things resolved. One thing about me is if you hurt me, I want you to burn. I want the whole world to burn. I want nothing to do with anyone. I become very mean, very revengeful. I don't do a lot of pity for myself, but I do take part in destructive behavior. That's just me. I don't know why I do that. But again, because I journal and I've started to take action, I got to a point where I do bring things up to people. And I've come to a 2-route solution. Is either I talk to you and we get this resolved and then we're good and we move on, or I bring it to you, you do nothing and I do nothing, and you don't want to make up for the pain that you caused me, and because you don't, I'm not ready to just forgive you for no reason, so then I cut you out of my life and that's it, and then I move on. And I think in that bubble I just wasn't acknowledging a lot of my feelings and I wasn't really honest about it. But like I said, I did things that I managed to, get over it. I'm looking at my notes. The identity trap. I like this one. I've noticed it a lot in other people. Sorry, guys. But also in myself when I was little. I used to have this thing that, like, you're young. Like, I don't know how to put it. I'll give an example that I've seen for other people, but know that I've also taken part in this at some point in my life. So I'm not here to judge. We were on the same team at one point. I used to have friends that they will talk about their mommy or daddy issues and how their parents like really affect their lives and what their parents did to them as a child and all these things. Not invalidating anyone's feelings or experiences, absolutely not. But you take that, and again, not invalidating anyone's feelings, you take that thing that happened to you and you drag it on for your whole life. You get to a point where I do believe that our pain influences our behavior, the way we act and the way we carry ourselves and how we go further on in our life. Absolutely, especially because life moves on and life becomes newer and newer every single day. I started this video at like 1:30, it's nearly like 1:40 something. I don't know, my eyesight is really bad, I can't see. My point is, 10 minutes ago was 10 minutes ago, now is now. We're in a place where time constantly moves on. Why not be in this present moment with your present version and hold that moment in the present and be conscious about it? Back then, I used to notice, and I used to do this as well, that I would take the old version of me and bring it into the present moment. And not just the present moment now, but also further on into the future, it would have been a part of me. Because my pain was so intertwined with my identity that this is just who I was. My pain, my suffering, my problems, why is this happening to me? All these negative things. Oh, my life, my blah, 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 blah. Everything was about complaining, suffering, pain. Everything was just about that. Nothing new. A new day would go on, I would still talk about the thing that hurt me 16 years ago. Another day would go by, still that thing. And at one point, you're just gonna have to cut it off. I know. Like, again, I'm not invalidating anyone's feelings. But at one point, you're really just gonna have to cut it off. You can't go your whole life moving, as time moves on, life goes on, years pass, and you're still stuck in that thing. You're not living. So many things are going past you, so you're missing out on so many things because you're stuck on that thing. Cut it off. That's the leg that you need to cut off. Either you're gonna drown. Nicest way for me to put it. If you want to cut it off or not, that's your problem. As I mentioned before, do you want the pain of that thing always being there, or do you want the pain of cutting your leg off? But then you don't have to feel it anymore because your leg got cut off. Does that make sense? Well, I guess I can contradict myself on this point. With that identity trap, it's like you get to a point where you're like, why is this happening to me? What did I must have done some really bad things in my past life to have this sort of karma. I must have been a really, really horrible person because all these bad things are constantly happening to me. Why are they just happening to me? Everyone else is living such a beautiful life but me. And then it's like, yeah, everyone is living like a beautiful life. Maybe some people aren't, but the ones that you notice they are. That doesn't mean that they don't have things which they also needed to cut off. They probably cut some things off. But it's like, you know that you're worthy enough to also have that. You see that in everyone else. Everyone's a reflection of you. They're a mirror of you. If you feel like, oh, that person is so privileged to have that thing that I also want, you can also have that thing. It still exists. That thing universally exists. You can also have it. But what action do you put to have that? Does that make sense? If you want to move on with your life, you can't have that past version of you. You have to sacrifice that. Sacrifices have to be made in order for you to grow. Do you know what I mean? You have to shed parts of yourself, because that's what becoming someone new is. Shedding parts of yourself. Shedding parts of yourself that can't move forward with you. Because growth in a way asks you for an inner death. You have to let go of your habits and your old fears and the old version of you. And it's uncomfortable and sometimes painful, but the pain isn't really your enemy. Like the boy who got his leg trapped, the pain of cutting the leg off wouldn't have been his enemy, because he would have survived the flood. So it would have actually set him free. Ooh. Get into that one. The real danger is, however, staying exactly where you are and clinging to what no longer fits you. Because when you choose growth over stagnation, once you do that, you'll make space for the version of you that is stronger and clearer and who is ready to meet you and to finally rise. And it will take you a lot of discipline to move forward, because moving forward isn't always dramatic or inspiring. Most days it's going to be very quiet, very boring, very repetitive. You're going to be doing the same small steps over and over again, and it's going to be draining. Because I always have this thing where you're going to work on one thing, but then a bunch of other things are going to pop up in the same time. It's going to be like a spider web. You're not dealing with just one single thing. You're dealing with so much more, because one thing influences another, and then that one influences another 2, and then those 2 influence another 8, and so on and so on. And yes, you will feel the pull to go back on to what's familiar and the old you, and that longing is absolutely normal, but it doesn't have to lead you. That longing doesn't have to lead you, because discipline is what carries you through the moments when your heart wants to go back to your past self. The future needs your commitment. So discipline is what's going to keep you on that road, and over time those boring choices actually become the foundation of a life that you feel like you're truly living in. Those tiny steps are going to create habits. Those habits are going to create progress. That progress you're going to take as proof, and you're going to look at that and you're going to see, wow, I've done that for myself. Those tiny steps got me to see this progress, so I know that it exists. I know that I can have those things that I see other people have. I know that I can heal myself, because look, that tiny progress is there, and I've created that for myself. And if this tiny progress exists, then an even bigger one can. And the only way to shift your identity is through those tiny, intentional, consistent steps. Those are the little wins that slowly rebuild your confidence, that will remind you of the person of who you want to become. The person that reminds you of the person that you want to become. Yeah, I said that correctly. Another great thing to do is surround yourself with the people that you admire. For me, I would love to surround myself with the people that have been through hell and back, but they're such nice people. As I said, when something hurts me, I want everything to burn. they've been through hell and back, and they've been through things that I would consider that are worse than I have been through. But yet they're much nicer than me. They're much nicer than me. I want to be like that. I want to be like those people. So I would surround myself with those people because I admire something so much within them that I also want it for myself. And if I admire it, I want it for myself so much, then it must mean that it's already within me because I recognize it in someone else. And people are just mirrors of you. And also, have a good, like I said in my last video, I can sit here, that one was about getting out of your comfort zone. I can sit here and tell you about all the benefits. You could be the kid in the river and I could tell you, let's cut it off, blah blah. I could tell you what I've been saying now, that this is for the best, this is for you, you're gonna get to live a beautiful life, this doesn't define you, blah 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 blah. You can create a new identity, rebuild yourself, live a happy life, feel like you're truly in the present moment living. But you need to feel that for yourself, and you need to have that why. That why is going to be your anchor and your purpose to take that step forward, to cut those things off, to not let them define you, to move on. Your why is going to stop you from going back onto your older version. See, I'm doing a great job again out of my comfort zone. So far I've been speaking facts. And also, those tiny things, that why, again going back to the steps and the habits and the proof of progress, that's all gonna shape you into the person that you are worthy of becoming, that you want to become, and that already exists, and that's waiting and that's rooting for you. Because your future self is waiting and is waiting for you to move towards them. And every time you show up and every time you refuse to go back to the old version of you because that's familiar and that's safe and that's easier to do so, you move closer to that future self who's been rooting for you all along, like I said. So, with that being said, this is the end of my journal entry. I feel like I'm probably gonna look back at this and a lot of things that I also need to cut off will come up. So if you don't take anything from it, that's absolutely fine. I know that I will. And if you do, I'm rooting for you. Your past self is rooting for you. I got you. I'm here for you. I believe you can do it. But you also need to believe that you could do it. And once you do that, once you believe, you're gonna get there. It's easier said than done, but it does just simply come to that. Once you do believe that you can do all of these things and that you are worthy of those things because you are, then things will pan out way simpler for you, much more simpler than you could imagine. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope that you take care of yourself as always, and I shall see you next time. Bye bye.